Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 12, Vichitura's Glorious Death. Text number 1. Shri Rishir Uvacha Evam Jishashur Upadeham Asho Vidyam Varam Vijayam Manya Manaha Shilam Pravyabhyay Patat Surendram Nitamaha Purusham Haitabo Ashpu Chirichuvacha Evam Vyashur Nipadayam Ascho Vidyam Varam Vijayam Manya Sulam Parijabhya Tat Surendram Yata Mahapurusham Kaitabo Aspashu. Word for word. Shri Rishi Uvacha. Sukadeva Goswami said, Evam, thus, Yasu, very eager to give up. Ripa, O King Parikshit, Deham, the body, Aja, in battle, Mityam, death, Param, better, Vijayat, then victory, Manya Manaha, thinking, Shulam, trident, Parigya, taking up, Abhyapatat, attacked, Sura Indram, the king of heaven, Indra, Yata, just as, Mahapurusham, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kaitavava, the demon Kaitava, Apso, when the whole universe was inundated. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami said, desiring to give up his body, Vichitura considered the death in the battle preferable to victory. O King Parikshit, he vigorously took up his trident and with great force attacked Lord Indra, the king of heaven. Just as Kaitaba had forcefully attacked the Supreme Personality of Godhead when the universe was inundated. Word. Although Vichitura repeatedly encouraged Indra to kill him with the thunderbolt, King Indra was morose at having to kill such a great devotee, was hesitant to throw it. Vichitura, disappointed that King Indra was reluctant despite his encouragement, took the initiative very forcefully by throwing his trident at Indra. Vrindavan was not at all interested in victory. He was interested in being killed, so he can immediately return home back to Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita 4.9. Jagdva deham punarjanma 19. After giving up his body, the devotee immediately returns to the Lord Krishna and never returns to accept another body. This was Vrindavan's interest. Om Aryanaturam Dasya Janantana Sakya Chakshulamitam Jena Tasmei Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Danti Swapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam, Pungam Lagate Giram, Patkripa Tamaham Bande, Chingur Dinatanam. I offer my respectful message unto my spiritual master, deliverer of fallen souls, whose mercy turns the dumb into eloquent speakers, enables the lame to cross mountains, and the dog to swim across the ocean. Translation once again. Sukadeva Goswami said, desiring to give up his body, Vrindavan considered both death and the battle preferable to victory. O King Parikshit, he vigorously took up his trident and great force attacked Lord Indra, the king of heaven, just as Kaitaba had forcibly attacked the Supreme Personality of Godhead when the universe was inundated. So Vrindavan, this is the battle between Lord Indra and Vrindavan. We know that Indra, although he's the king of heaven, is always getting himself into trouble, and therefore he has to suffer feedback, suffer a sinful reaction for his different activities. It's in the Madhya Lila, chapter 9, text 279. There was one sage who was meditating. His name was Achyuta Rishi. Now, when Indra sees that different yogis, sages become very powerful by their austerity and penance, Indra becomes afraid that he's going to lose his position. Indra is a post. It's like Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods. They have different administrative posts. And Krishna erected the Dwarka fort. It says there are 33 million administrative demigods. And some of them brought presentations to Dwarka. So although Indra is the king of heaven, he's a devotee, he still has false pride, pratishta, wanting profit, adoration, distinction. And because of his false pride, he keeps getting himself in trouble. First, when his spiritual master entered the assembly of Indra, Indra failed to stand up, failed to offer respects to him. And because of this, the demons the demigods lost their power. The demons were defeating the demigods. But then they told Indra that he should accept Vishwarup as his spiritual master. But he was inclined toward the demons. And when Indra found out that Vishwarup was giving part of this share of the sacrifice to the demons, he cut off his head. He had 3 heads. And then Indra again had to suffer sinful reaction, which he shared with the land, with the water, with the trees, and with the women. So 3 times he got in trouble, or 2 times. And then the 3rd time, now he has to fight with Vrikashura, and knowing that he's a great devotee. So Indra has this false pride, and one time when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, he saw that Nanda Maharaj was arranging for some sacrifice. So Krishna said to his father, what's this arrangement? And Nanda Maharaj said, you're just a little boy, you won't understand these things. But Krishna said, no, you shouldn't keep secrets from family members. Tell me, what are you doing, what's this arrangement? So Nanda Maharaj said that we're going to offer sacrifice to Indra, because Indra supplies rain, and we're Vaishyas, and therefore we're depending on Indra for rain, so we can be successful in our agricultural production. But Krishna said no. He gave him the karma mansa philosophy. He said, Indra pours rain on the land, he pours rain on the sea, he pours rain everywhere. It's not Indra that's responsible for your crops. So you don't need to worship Indra. Just worship Govardhan Hill. And Nanda Maharaj said, okay, we'll worship Indra first, and then we'll worship Govardhan Hill. But Krishna said, no, you just use the same paraphernalia you already collected for Indra and worship Govardhan Hill. So they did that. They started to worship Govardhan Hill. But this enraged Indra, because he didn't understand who Krishna was. He was proud of his position, being the king of heaven and having so much power. So Indra called all his clouds, Shamataka cloud, and all the different clouds, and told him to go to Vrindavan, inundate the whole Vrindavan area. So this is a very vicious activity. He wanted to give trouble to the residents of Vrindavan. He thinks this is the Vaishnava Aparad. He wanted to give trouble to the cows, to the cowherd men, everyone. So he started pouring down torrents of rain and hailstorm, which was the size of pillars. So they prayed to Krishna. Krishna went from his house, and he went to Govardhan Hill, from his house to Govardhan Hill, but not one drop of water fell on Krishna. Then he lifted Govardhan Hill with the little finger of his left hand, and he expanded it 32 miles. So all the residents of Vrindavan took shelter under the hill, and with all their cows and every women and children and all the gopis, and therefore they were protected. So finally Indra could understand that he was playing with fire, and therefore when his mission was a failure at proving that he was more powerful than Krishna, he called back the cloud, they desist everything. And they put the Govardhan Hill. Krishna told all the residents of Vrindavan, now you can leave Govardhan Hill. And Krishna put the hill back down, exact same place. And then Krishna came, then Indra came and offered prayers to Indra. And Krishna told, after he finished his prayers, Krishna told Indra that now you can go back to being the king of heaven, but don't be overwhelmed by false pride. Because this is pride. It says pride comes before the fall. So this pratishta, wanting profit, adoration, distinction, this is the narthas for a devotee in the heart of devotees. Devotees should be janadapi sunichena, aturapi sisuna, amanina mandana, kirtana sarari. Devotee should feel oneself lower than the strongest tree, devoid of all senses of all specialties, and ready to offer all respects to others. So, this is the position of Indra. You know, he was always getting involved with women, and he was cursed by a sage, and then he had vaginas all over his body. So he prayed for forgiveness. Now he has eyes all over his body. When you ever see a picture of Indra, he has eyes all over his body. But those eyes are not only and when he was in Gaur Lila, those eyes were also shedding tears in ecstatic love. So this is the position of Indra. Brahma, Indra, Shiva, these are all posts. And if there's no suitable living entity to take the post of Brahma, then Vishnu will take that post. But Vishnu is in charge of goodness. He's the overseer and permitter of both goodness, passion, and ignorance. And he's never contaminated by the modes of material nature. We know even Brahma became bewildered and thought he was more powerful than Krishna. And he stole the cowherd boys and put them in a cave. But it was only one moment for Brahma, but it was 1 year on this planet. So when Brahma came back to see what trouble he had caused, Krishna actually expanded himself into all the calves and cowherd boys as Vishnu expansions. And Brahma saw that and understood that Krishna wasn't the most powerful living entity in the world. So these different demigods have their posts, have their position, but they're not all no. It says those who worship the demigods are considered less intelligent. Because if demigods can award fruits, but their fruits are limited and temporary, and they depend on Krishna, everything must be ordained by the Supreme Lord. Not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. So, we should not think the demigods, if one has the accumulated pious credits, he can become a demigod, go to the heavenly planets, enjoy for thousands of years. And demigods, they don't go to Yamaraj to get judged after they finish their karma in heaven. They come back to the earth planet. But if they commit sinful activities, they do have to suffer. And we see that they get cursed sometimes. Many times the demigods get cursed. When Nanda Maharaj and the cow, Shri Gaurnitai Krishna Bhavaraj Samasundar. When Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd boys once upon a time decided to observe Shivratri. Shivratri is not a regular observance for the Vaishnavas. But Lord Shiva, he's the best of all Vaishnavas. So they went to the Ambika on the Saraswati River, and they fasted all day, and they drank a little water, then they took rest. And while they were taking rest, a serpent came and started swallowing up Nanda Maharaj, a python. The Nanda Maharaj started calling for help, and the other coward men picked up burning logs and started beating the serpent, but then he wouldn't give up Nanda Maharaj. Then Krishna came there and stepped on the serpent's body, and immediately a beautiful demigod came out from the serpent's body. And that demigod was Vidyadhara. And he explained to Krishna that he was beautiful. He had a very beautiful form, and he was proud of his beauty. So when Angira Muni came by, who was not beautiful, he laughed at him. So therefore he was cursed to take the body of a python. We know also King Nariga was also had to take the body of a lizard. But that's a different story. But the demigods, they get cursed at different times, take different bodies on this, and like the sons of Kuvera had to stand as trees for 100 years in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, but they ultimately they got the darshan of Krishna and became pure devotees. So the demigods have to also be careful how they act. They have to act properly. But they enjoy as much as they enjoy until their karma runs out. So the devotees are not interested in going to heaven, they're enjoying life. This is in other religions. They think in going to heaven, like the Muslims think, the Muslim terrorists think, if they kill themselves with a bunch of other people, that they can go to heaven and enjoy with virgin girls. But that is not desired by devotees. It doesn't solve the problem of repeated birth and death. Deino smenyatadehe komaram yopanam jaratitadeyam prapatir dirashchachana muhite. The devotee doesn't want to live in heaven if he can't serve Krishna, because it becomes like hell. And the devotee doesn't want to live in hell if he can't. If the devotee lives in hell, but he can serve Krishna, then it's like heaven. But if he lives in heaven and he can't serve Krishna, then it's the same as hell. So in all circumstances, devotees don't want anything material, any material benefits. They want to go back to Godhead, get free from the cycle of repeated birth and death, the bondage which causes us to remain in this material world. Dakayalam Ashasvatam. This material world, place of misery where repeated birth and death take place. So, this is the position of Indra. Now Indra is fighting with Vritrashura. Vritrashura was the devotee, King Tritaketu. And it's coming next chapter. One time, King Tritaketu, while traveling in outer space on a brilliant effulgent airplane given to him by Lord Vishnu, he saw Lord Shiva surrounded by siddhas and charnas. Lord Shiva was sitting in an assembly of great saintly persons, embracing Parvati on his lap with his arms. Chitraketu laughed loudly and spoke within the hearing of Parvati. And because he did this, he was cursed by Mother Parvati to take the body of a demon. So he took the body of a demon, but he still remembered that he was a devotee. So this was not actually his curse. He could have counteracted the curse. He accepted the curse as the will of providence. He bowed down to Mother Parvati. He asked for forgiveness. So he accepted this body of a demon, but to ensure that he will not have to take another body, so he could go back to Godhead more quickly. So here the battle between Indra and Vritrashura is taking place. And Vritrashura, first Indra threw his club at Vritrashura. Vritrashura caught it and sent it back. Then Indra became fearful, even though Indra had the thunderbolt, which is made from the body of the Dichi, which was invincible because it was ordained by Lord Vishnu. So Indra was hesitant to use his disc weapon. So Vritrashura kept telling Indra that you should use your disc and get this battle over with, so I can go back to Godhead. So it took some time, but Indra knew that Vritrashura was a devotee, so he knew he was going to have to suffer reaction for killing him. But because the demigods were being harassed, therefore the demons had to be suppressed. And Vritrashura was a very powerful demon. Therefore, but he wasn't interested in victory, he was only interested in going back to Godhead. It says, Jamma karma chamedivyam evam yovi jatavaha jadva deham pranarjama nakti mama iti Arjuna. Krishna says, one who knows my transcendental appearance and activities does not take birth again after leaving this material body, but returns home back to Godhead. So this is the only interest of Vritrashura. Bhagavad-Gita says, Prakriti kriyamanani gunakarmani sarsaha ankara vimudama artaham iti manyate. Living into others spell three modes of material nature. Thinks himself the doer of activities. So again, because when we come in the material world, we get a false ego. As soon as the living entity, due to misuse of our independence, we decide to come in the material world and try to be Krishna, be the enjoyer. So immediately we have this false ego, ankara, thinking I'm the doer, I'm the Lord of all I survey. But we are tiny jivas, we're insignificant. And we can't accomplish anything without the sanction of the Lord. Rake Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rake Ke. If Krishna wants you to live, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. When Rukmini gave birth to her first child, which was Pradumna, the Sambar demon got news that this child was to kill him, was going to kill him. So like Putana, he disguised himself as a beautiful lady. He went into the house of Rukmini, stole the baby, and threw him in the ocean. Now when the baby was thrown in the ocean, it was swallowed up by a big fish. So Krishna Prabhupada writes there, Rake Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rake Ke. If Krishna wants you to live, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. So that fish was caught by a fisherman, sold in the market to the Sambar demon, the cooks of the Sambar demon. Because demons like to eat fish and meat and drink wine and eat all kinds of abominable things. If you go to Jagannath Puri, you can smell, they catch fish, you can smell the fish in the market. It's a very obnoxious smell. Fish and meat is a very bad, obnoxious smell. Think about, the smell is so bad, let alone eating it. The Krishna says, Patram pushpam chaloto yome bhakti priyatati. Well, one offers me a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I'll accept that. Krishna doesn't accept meat or wine. These things they offer to the demigods. But it says in 11th canto, if you want to eat meat, you can eat a goat or deer, but she never eat cows. So the devotees of the Lord, we have to follow 4 regular principles: no meeting, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. But as a result, we were talking about the story of Pradyumna. He was actually his wife was working in the kitchen of the Sambar demon. And when they cut open the fish, they found this baby who was still alive. That was Pradyumna. So she took care of him. He immediately grew up very quickly and became his wife, because she was his wife in the birth before him. And he went back to Dwarka and Rukmini as Rukmini's son. So the victory or defeat are all an arrangement to the Lord. The devotee is fully dependent on the Lord, his surrendered soul. Sarvadama Prikshaja, Mamekam Saranamaja, Ham Tvam Sarvapavmeyo, Mokshashami Masuchaha. Krishna says, "This surrender unto me, give of all varieties of religiosity. I will protect you from all sins, do not fear." So the devotee should work sincerely and leave the result up to Krishna. Of course, we should not act whimsically. In New York, they were trying to get a building in New York, and Prabhupada told them not to give the man who was trying to sell the building a down payment. Don't give him any money until he gives you the papers. So they didn't listen to Prabhupada, and they gave the man money first, and then the man said, well, I got, he was making excuses. He couldn't give him the papers. So they went to Prabhupada and said, "This is Krishna's mercy." But Prabhupada said, "No, it's not Krishna's mercy. This is your stupidity." Because Prabhupada told him not to do it. So if you do something stupid, you can't think that it's Krishna's mercy. But if something comes on its own accord, then we know it's Krishna's mercy. If we get sick or if we have some some kind of problems that comes by itself, we know it's Krishna's mercy. So devotees would go out on Sankirtan, distribute books, and they would leave the results up to Krishna. So sometimes you'd be very successful, distribute a lot of books, and sometimes you could work all day and not distribute very many books. So in either case, we went out 10 hours a day, distribute books, and all the collections went to Krishna, went to the temple. It was selfless service. The devotee did selfless service. He used to say in all the train stations in India, service to man is service to God. So service to man is service to man. But service to man becomes service to God only when it's service that can elevate the spirit that can benefit the spirit's soul. Service to man, service to the material body, that's not service to God. Where is the connection? That's social welfare activities. And our movement is not a social welfare organization. It's not our business to open schools and hospitals and dig wells and plant trees. But service to man becomes service to God when we can give the conditioned souls a chance to become Krishna conscious. Then it becomes service to man becomes service to God when we benefit that spirit soul, not simply the body. So we give people prasadam. Prasadam is our secret weapon. People may not want to hear the philosophy and may not want to become devotees, but prasadam, when people eat prasadam, they like it then they get spiritual, they get benefited. Even if a dog eats prasadam, he gets a human form in his next life. So Prabhupada wanted prasadam distribution, he wanted book distribution, he wanted Gurukula to teach students, teach the children how to become devotees. These things are service to man, which bring people to becoming God conscious. So that service to man means service to God, when people become Krishna conscious. So this purport is very short, and Vitrashura, he's telling Indra to not to be morose, because everybody in the material world is morose. In the story where Krishna had a conversation with Rukmini, Prabhupada says everybody in the material world is morose. Even in the karmis, the jnanis, they have lusty desires that cannot be fulfilled, so they're also morose. But devotees are jubilant or happy, because we're not trying to satisfy our senses. As long as you're trying to satisfy your senses, as long as you're trying to enjoy the material world, Prahlad Maharaj says that's when your distress comes. So we live simple living, high thinking, especially brahmacharis. We have very few possessions. We just live a very simple life, and we're happy. But the householders, the Grihastha ashram is also there, but it is entangling. And Prabhupada says for householders, advancement is very slow, or next to nil. Because once you become a householder, then you have so many attachments. So like one sage was meditating, and a mouse was stealing his kalpans. So he got a cat to chase away the mouse. Then the cat was hungry, so he got a cow to give milk to the cat. Then the cow needed someone to take care of it, so he got a wife. Then he had to get a house. Then he got children. Then he had forgot about being in his meditation. So this way, household life is very entangling, and it's best to avoid it. If you can, it's best to avoid it, and live a simple life as a brahmachari, and not have to worry about so many things which doesn't help us advance in Krishna consciousness. They should be surrendered soul. A surrendered soul means accept everything favorable, reject everything unfavorable, always depend on Krishna for his mercy, always depend on Krishna for his protection, and feel oneself meek and humble.